Hello and welcome back to College Basketball Weekly. LT in the saddle. Sam is not with us because you know what? I didn't invite him. He knows, but I didn't invite him. I had such a good time last week at the Horizon League Media Day. We're going to do part two. We're going to do uncensored. I missed a couple guests, including this one, but don't forget to subscribe, rate, review wherever you can on the Full Court Network handles, whether it's watching on YouTube, slam that. So this first guest of our Horizon League Uncensored, okay, is a gentleman that throws off Ben McCollum vibes. And I kind of told him that. He's got some pressure here. I didn't realize this until now. He was the fourth leading scorer when he was playing in the NCAA. He only averaged 23 points per game. He's fast-paced. He's up-tempo, full-court style. We got first year, actually, 4.5-month head coach, IU Indianapolis, Ben Howlett. Welcome to the Horizon League Uncensored.
Yeah, thanks for having me on here. That's quite the intro. I'll take that.
Yeah. If you want to play that at home when your wife and kids are around, you know, I'm still going to beat your ass in pickleball next time I see you. But, did I say that? Doubles or singles, whatever. Singles, whatever. So you got the job May 27th. I think you might have been, well, actually, no, because they've, which is weird. The season has started. There's already been some movement in coaching. But you were one of the last coaches hired May 27th, 2025. Was there any concern of taking the job so late in the game?
No, it was one of those opportunities that, I just couldn't turn down. And the vision that the athletic administration had here, just in terms of maybe wanting to do something a little bit different in terms of style of play, and just, everything that we have going on here at IU-Indy with the new arena coming and just almost starting over with a clean slate. We didn't have many returners on our roster. We had one returner, and then that they're kind of letting me do the things I want here and run it my way. So I've always wanted to flip a program, and change the culture. I'm coming from a program where, we were winning 28 or 29 games a season, and I've always told myself if I had the opportunity to go somewhere and flip the culture and flip the program, I was going to take it, and that opportunity presented itself, and here I am today.
Do you like it now? I mean, the new college landscape. Do you like it now where you can go into a program and it's pretty much gutted even before you get there?
I don't mind it. Yeah, I think in my case, when you get hired so late, it maybe makes it a little bit easier to construct a roster. And I was fortunate enough to bring 4 of my players from West Liberty, and then I also brought 2 of the commitments that we had committed at West Liberty to here at IU-Indy to help bridge that gap, and then filled the roster with guys that I was familiar with from the Division II level and NAIA level, that the guys that we recruited out at West Liberty. So I do think it makes things easier. When you get hired late, there's still a lot of players available, and we were able to attack the portal and construct a good roster.
Yeah. Not only did you add players to your roster, you add a player to your household too.
Yeah. Added a little girl. I'm 2 for 2 on girls. So Olivia was born maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago, and I've got a 2-year-old. So pretty hectic in the household, but it's a good kind of hectic. So it's all good.
Yeah, I mean, we talked last Tuesday at the Indianapolis at kind of the night before, and it was pretty crazy. Like, you didn't see your family. You had a newborn. You're in Indianapolis. Your family's back at West Liberty. I mean, this is the new lifestyle of college basketball coaching. It's not all sexy. It's a little bit of
it was awesome. It was awesome. We were it's kind of funny. My assistant coach and I we were in temporary housing, and we kind of joked like,
is that who Sam and I are going to beat in pickleball too?
Yeah. We were living in temporary housing, and we always joke we were living like bachelors again. We were eating pizza and watching highlights at night and getting up early and going to bed early, and there was no babies were crawling on us in the middle of the night, so we were getting good sleep, and life wasn't too bad at that point either.
Yeah. It's kind of like Coach McNamara over at Siena. He had the door. They called it the dorm room, I think it was. It's like 4 coaches living together and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, 8 years head coach at West Liberty, 8 NCAA tournaments, obviously done something well. I mean, you coached under your head coach who eventually went to Nova Southeastern.
Yep.
Yeah, Nova Southeastern. Sorry about that. Jim Crutchfield, if you don't know that name, legend. Just flat out legend. I mean, would you say that your coaching style, like, because people don't know you in the Horizon League, I mean, you're brand new. You're what, 4 months old as a head coach there. Do you believe, is your coaching style kind of come from Coach Crutchfield or more of your playing style?
I think probably more of Coach Crutchfield. I played for him for 4 years, and then he was nice enough to let me stay on staff as a student assistant, where I didn't have many responsibilities, but I kind of got to stay in shape and practice with the team. A year later, he hired me on as a full-time assistant and let me pretty much, do everything involved in a program. And you learn a lot when you're booking trips and booking hotels and doing all the administration work. And then also, the one thing he trusted me with was recruiting. And so I got I was 22 or 23 years old at the time and was the lead recruiter for a dominant Division II program and just kind of got thrown in the fire that way. And, I worked for him and behind the scenes, kind of watched him and saw the way he approached the game. And the one thing I think he did a really good job at, I thought our practices were really good at West Liberty, and they were not the norm. They were probably a little bit different than most practices. And, probably I've changed more of the practices than he did. But I think that's what made us so good at West Liberty was we were just different than everyone else. And I think that's the question in college basketball is, will this style of play translate to the Division I level? And that's what everyone's kind of wondering. And I'm wondering it myself. Like,
yes,
it's a lot of unknown.
Yes.
But
it will, Coach.
We're chipping. I hope so. Certainly.
It will. If it doesn't, then, well, I didn't say it. You did.
Yeah.
But no, I think I think that's the thing. Sorry to cut you off, but
you're fine.
Obviously with 8 successful seasons, you've probably had some other offers. Why Indianapolis, aka Ooey Pooey? No offense, I said that to you Tuesday night. Why IU Indianapolis? Why the program and why now in your kind of coaching career? Because you probably could have gone other places.
Yeah, I think for me, I wanted to stay relatively in the Midwest if I could. And, part of it was the attractive thing for me is we haven't had a winning season since 2011. And that's what I want to change. I want to see if we can change this, if we can change that culture. And then, a big part of it was we're getting a brand new arena. The arena is sitting right downtown Indianapolis. And I'm coming from a program that was about as rural as you can get in West Liberty. And so it's just a change of scenery for me, and maybe like a little injection in the arm, a shot in the arm. For me, I always preach to my team, like, let's get uncomfortable with this practice. And maybe I was getting a little comfortable at West Liberty. I needed something uncomfortable. So the opportunity gave me a chance to coach here, and I took it, and we were off and running.
Yeah, I think Indianapolis has the most basketball gyms arena per capita of anywhere. I mean, I was just there, as you know, we were there together, and I mean, you're going to Lucas Oil Stadium, which is going to be the host of the Final Four, and I mean, it's not a basketball arena, but there's one here, there's one there, then there's Hinkle Fieldhouse, and then there's one here. It's like, just make sure you know where you're going, because you might go to the wrong gym for the wrong game.
They love basketball here. They I've told people this, like, what. I've lived here for a short amount of time, but the one thing I've figured out is basketball is extremely important at all levels. High school, college, like the people of Indiana love basketball, and Indianapolis is a basketball city, and it's just been great. It's been great. Your profession is coaching basketball, and everyone around you loves basketball. So that part of it's been really fun for me.
Yep. 2 quick questions. What's your perception of the Horizon League so far now that you've been in it for a couple months?
Yeah, the one thing I'll say is, and I've said this a couple of times, like, I think each team and each coach kind of have their own way of playing. You're going to see some teams sit in a zone. You're going to see some up-tempo teams. You're going to see some physical teams that go get the rebound, and teams that muck up the game a little bit. So we've got to make sure that we can play up to the level of our opponent and make sure that we understand that what teams are trying to do, because they're all going to be different. Every team we play is going to have some different style of play, and we just need to make sure we're ready for it.
Yeah, yeah. How good are you guys going to be year one?
I don't know. I have no idea. Like I can watch as much tape and film on other teams, but I don't really know what to expect. I just know here's what I know is we're going to be different. We're going to be different, and we're going to play different. And every coach says they're going to play up tempo, and every coach says they're going to play hard. But that's one thing I can guarantee is we're going to be extremely up tempo, and we're going to play really hard. And the only we don't set goals as far as winning and losing. We don't do that. I want to feel good about our team going into March. I want to feel like we've improved, and we feel like, well, we can go in the conference tournament and win a couple games and maybe win the whole thing. You can get hot for 3 or 4 days and win a conference tournament. So that's kind of the mindset right now.
Yep. 217-37 of 85.4% winning percentage. No pressure, coach.
We've had a lot of good players, had a lot of good assistant coaches and guys that have sacrificed a lot for the team and for me. I'm a coach that I obsess with winning. I obsess with everything that goes into winning, and I demand that from my players. And we have a winner and a loser in everything we're doing in practice.
Yep.
And there's a lot of wins in there, but a lot of people are involved in those wins.
Yeah, I'll leave you with this. I was talking to a head coach. I won't say who it was on Wednesday, and they said, I'm really pissed. I was hoping the coaching was going to get a little bit worse this offseason, and obviously it hasn't with you coming in, and then obviously Coach Summers coming back to Cleveland State now as the head coach, and then Coach Montgomery and Coach Gottlieb taking hopefully a bigger step in year 2. So, Coach, you're going to stick on here for one more second as we upload, but check out IU Indianapolis, the Jaguars, Coach Ben Howlett in year 1 of the Ben Howlett era in Indianapolis. All right, so we keep going on the Horizon League Uncensored train, and one of my favorite shows, this is going to date me a little bit. I don't know if you guys watch or listen to, or watch this show back in the day, was Welcome Back, Kotter. And this coach can pretty much understand that because he's coming back to the Horizon League after a little stint with his actually former head coach, a coach previous to Coach Robinson. We got Rob Summers, Cleveland State Vikings.
Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be on.
Yeah. So
glad to be back in Cleveland.
Yeah, glad to be in Cleveland. We talked a little bit at the media day a week and a half ago, and you really like Cleveland as a city, great place to raise kids. I mean, when the call came, was there much hesitation on taking the job, especially after what you and Coach Gates and the coaching staff did in such a short period of time at Cleveland State?
Yeah, just being with Coach Gates at the University of Missouri and the special year we had last year, it was a little bit of hesitation because I had built obviously the bond with Coach Gates, but also with our players, and I knew we had a really good team coming back that could compete for a national championship. So, when Kelsey Harkey called me and asked me would I be interested in it, I've been praying for an opportunity to be, back in Ohio, back in my home state, be somewhere that I can allow my kids to grow and go to high school. I don't want to be jumping around, and to lead a program that I'm familiar with, that I know they can win a lot of games, was something that at the end of the day, me and my wife both knew this was the right place for me to be.
Right. And it's interesting because if you look at, you're the newbie, one of the newbies with Coach Howlett, a couple coaches with going into their second years. But you look at Coach Kampe, you look at Coach Horn, you look at Coach Kaufman at Purdue Fort Wayne. Cleveland State, you're looking at kind of the college basketball landscape now, and you look at the Horizon League, which is really interesting because it's college basketball focused. Obviously they have other sports that they're very good at and competitive at, but if you look at it, there's really no football bar from Youngstown State. How intriguing is it to kind of stay and build something there?
It's very intriguing. I think it's a special place. We said it before, we were here from 19 to 22 that we want to be the Gonzaga of the Midwest. We want to be able to have a program sustain championship levels, at the mid-major level. and really be something that, you can really grow your roots in and people know is a premier basketball program, not only in the Horizon League, but in the Midwest and in the nation overall.
Yeah. Yeah. How much did you lean on Coach Gates? I mean, obviously you're with him, so you're pretty much know everything, but how much did you lean on Coach Gates to kind of get some maybe more stuff on Cleveland State in the Horizon League?
A lot. He's set in this seat, from a head coaching standpoint, but also set in this seat from the point of, I'm sitting in his office, his old office right now. So, I definitely wanted to get his thoughts, kind of on his maturation through the process of taking over a Cleveland State program that it was struggling at the point in time. I'm coming in during a different time, right? I'm coming in after we won 3 championships, after Coach Robinson has done a great job winning 20-plus games for 3 seasons. So it's big shoes to fill. So it's the same job, but it's in a different spot than when he first got it, with there being a rebuild and having, 2 players from a team that, won 10 games.
Yeah.
I take over a team that's won, 20 plus for the last 3, and I got to build a brand new roster. So just really leaned on him with, his thoughts from a first-year Division I head coach standpoint of building a roster, understanding the landscape of what the Horizon League is, and then going about it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never asked this to someone. So when you get a new job and you go into Coach Gates, then obviously Coach Daniel Robinson's office, like, how when they switch presidents of the United States, they leave like notes. Was there anything left in kind of the desk or office for you?
No, me and Coach Robinson had a lot of conversations, through the process, just because, I really wanted to get his thoughts on it and obviously congratulate him. And I've come in contact with Coach Robinson since I left here.
Great dude.
On a great season and a great opportunity in North Texas. But, he just gave me a lot of great pointers. We sat down and had lunch probably 2 weeks after I got the job again. He had to come out, and I think he was selling his home and closing on that. So we sat down downtown in Cleveland in a corner and just really for about 2 hours just talked a lot about the program, the university, everything that he knew. I wanted to know where the skeletons were buried with all those things along those lines. But one of my former players did leave me a note, though. Deshaun Parker, who Coach Robinson brought with him as assistant coach, left me a note under my little extended desk that said he loved me. He's very proud of me. He said I changed his life, and that was huge because I didn't notice it probably until I want to say a month into the job. I lifted up the desk to see all this thing extends, and there's a sticky note down there. So just to get that from him, and then obviously I keep in contact with Coach Robinson. We talked about a week ago. Just about our programs, to have a former coach who really wants to see, that school continue to do well, who's really rooting for you. Sometimes you get that, sometimes you get, a little bit of business, but Coach Robinson's been great. I really appreciate it. Everything he did not only for, Cleveland State, but he's doing for me right now.
Yeah. Yeah. If I ask you, what is Horizon League basketball, how could you answer that?
It's classic. It's what is the true form of basketball. When you look at the Horizon League, it's just phenomenal coaches. It's stellar players that, a lot of people didn't know. Oh, he went there. That guy went there. When you talk about the Norris Coles and you talk about the guys at Butler, you have a bunch of guys who just are truly just hoop heads and really love the game. So when you talk about Horizon League, you mentioned it earlier, we don't have football. We're a basketball league. We're a league in every major city. We're making major impacts on people. And you have a lot of talented teams that can do some special things across the country. Teams are scared to play, Horizon level teams. You get the big boys. Coach Kampe has a hard time, getting those non-conference games because he does such a great job. Coach Horn.
No, he doesn't. Have you seen his schedule? Non-conference schedule?
If you look at the Ken Palm numbers of who he has to play now, he went from all right, I can play a P4 in this level. Now he's got to play Kansas. He's got to play Kentucky. He's got to play
Michigan, yeah. Purdue, Houston.
He's got to play Blue Bloods. Yeah, he's got to play the
Michigan
top
State.
Yeah, his top 10 teams or not. If someone's outside the top 25 and they do that, it's just going to be a little bit different. Oh man.
Yeah. You know what?
New office. See, look, new office. Don't know when my timer, my lights go out. That's what give me 2 seconds.
Let me. This is deja vu. This happened to someone else, and guess who it happened to with us when he got the new head coaching job at another school close to you, and you know this person well. You ready for it? I'll give you one guess. Who do you think it would be?
What was it, Faulkner?
Nope.
Oh,
Drew, my guy, Drew Joyce.
Drew. Oh, that was my second one. I was gonna work my way from Akron out from new coaches.
He's looking around and the lights go off and we're laughing after and stuff like that. So obviously you haven't worked in the office too much. I'm in
that gym where I'm out meeting with donors and everybody. So it's like, all right, if I come in here, it's some coffee and we're right to practice.
Absolutely. I mean, you're a tall dude. I think you're the tallest head coach in Division I currently right now, ever since Patrick Ewing got let go at Georgetown.
Yeah. It's a different era up here. So yeah, I take that. I again, we'll get a sign or something like that put outside my door, like
caution
in state. Yeah. Tallest head coach.
Do you think the officials in the Horizon League will use your height against you?
That's a great question, and actually, I have a great story for you. Being I started off at Division II at Glenville State with Joe Mazzulla, head coach of the Celtics. Played
never heard of him.
Never heard of him. Yeah. No, he's a small time coach, but so we're our first jobs are we're assistants at Glenville State College in Glenville, West Virginia, and probably my second game. Everybody knows you're a West Virginia player, so a lot of people in the state of West Virginia know who you are. And I get up and like it's the middle of timeout, and like the media timeout happens. Boom! I stand up. I'm like yelling because our guys are doing really well, and the referee goes, "Whoa!" And I was like, "What?" Like I'm just like I get up like just congratulating the guys, and I stand up really fast. So after the game, the referee comes to me and said, "Look," he said, "you're going to be coaching for a long time. I think you're going to be a good job." He's like, "You're so tall that when you stand up and you stand over people, it looks like you're going to like come at them." He's like, "Just because like you're not used to somebody your size." So I've taken that everywhere that I've gone so far as really like I have to make sure that when I talk to somebody, like especially from a referee standpoint, it has to be smiles and it has to be a calm voice, because if anything, I no offense to Coach Camp, because Coach Camp is if I go with somebody like Camp goes with somebody, it's going to be like this guy is like grab 3 security guards because this 7-foot dude is on a rampage.
You know what you should do, because you have kids. When you're like the kids were really young, because I was always taught by my previous coaches to always be eye level. It's like you should go on your on one knee so you're eye level with all these officials and all these other coaches.
Hey, I'm telling you, I stand back about 10, 15 feet so you just don't get close. But I'm kind of playing the whole get on a knee.
Yeah, I love it. Last question I have for you. What can people expect in year one? I mean, your first time head coach, new to the league in the sense of being a head coach. What can people expect from Cleveland State Vikings basketball?
A team that's going to compete at every moment in the game. We want to be a very, very competitive team. We want to be a team that's very disciplined. Be a team that understands that we're not going to ride highs and go so low. We're going to try to stay in that middle. We want to communicate. We just want to be the best version of ourselves out there every day. And again, understand that there's going to be bumps and bruises along the way. But we know the program knows where we are at. We know what we're about. And I think people are going to be excited to watch our brand of basketball because we want to play exciting style. I always say we're actors in a movie that doesn't really have a script. So people come to be entertained. They come to see winners. They come to watch good basketball and root for some guys that, are pillars in the community. We build our program on 5 core principles: brotherhood, unselfishness, integrity, love, discipline. And as long as we go out with those 5 pillars every day, I tell my guys, man, I'm fine. I'm fine with the results. Everything works out according to God's purpose. So I'm good.
Yeah, we love it. Check out Cleveland State. We're going to keep going on the Horizon League Uncensored train. We're got some more coaches up, but check out Cleveland State. I think they're going to surprise some people in year one of Coach Summers and his staff era. We continue on our jaunt, our realm, our hike on the Horizon League Uncensored. We go to second-year head coach, Youngstown State, 52 minutes exactly, door to door. I'm a fan of the Penguins. 21-13 last year, 13-7 overall. Finished 4th. We got Ethan Faulkner. Man, it's going to be another great year in the Horizon League. And all I want to know from you, Coach, is do you ever get a little bit nervous or a little bit disappointed that you got like the kind of the friendliest mascot and animal of all the mascots in the Horizon League?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. I'm excited.
Just answer the question, Coach.
I'm with you. I don't know that I've spent a whole lot of time thinking about that, to be honest with you. But we're the Penguins, baby. We're excited to be the Penguins, and we're going to be ferocious Penguins this year.
Yeah. And I like you got some returners coming back, which is always a good thing. That obviously, we talk, as you've been on a regular show, as your, the previous head coach, Coach Calhoun, we talk a lot about culture. I'm a former coach, former player. Sam's a former player too. And I mean, it speaks volumes when you have 3 very good players coming back to your program. What was this offseason? Year 2, you're kind of a newbie. You're not kind of a newbie head coach in the league. You've been in the league, obviously. What did you kind of maybe do differently this summer than previous?
Yeah, I know. Our plan this summer was really much of the same, Luke. Obviously, when the season ended, we had a chance to have some real continuity. But as we all know, it's very hard to have that in today's era of college basketball. But was really excited to have Jason Nelson and Chris Carroll and Ayman Zorval and Shaheed decide to come back and stay with our program. We try to do a really good job of providing them the best possible experience they can have here, and really trying to keep this thing relational as much as possible. But I think what excites me about those 4 guys is if you look in the past of our program, guys that have been in their second year in our program have made some significant strides. EJ Farmer's a great example of that. Dwayne Cole, great example of that. The list could go on, and I'm really excited about the development of Jason Nelson and Chris Carroll. I think those are 2 guys that are going to play significant roles on our team, much like they did last year. But both have really took ownership over their development this summer, and have really made some great strides. And obviously, Ayman coming off the injury, he's back healthy, excited about what he's going to do for us. And then Shaheed as well, coming off a really good redshirt year, has made some good improvements.
Yeah. Now, we know Coach Kampe is nuts. I mean, I don't know if you've seen his non-conference schedule. He's at Michigan, Purdue, Houston, home game, then at UCF. He also plays Michigan State. I think you're getting pretty close to him. At Pitt and at Grand Canyon, your first 2 games, I mean, you're getting these boys ready for Horizon League play.
Well, I don't know if our schedule is as hard as Coach Kampe's. What they do with scheduling is remarkable, and he's not afraid to play anybody. And obviously, what they've done is prepared them for Horizon League play with the success that they're having. Once our conference play starts. But yeah, I think we've got as hard a schedule as we've had since I've been here. We're gonna have to be really good early. You mentioned the Pitt and the Grand Canyon game too. Obviously, very difficult games. But follow that up with a non-Division I, and then hit the road to St. Bonaventure and Toledo. Obviously, 2 very good programs as well, before playing an MTE with UNC Greensboro and Georgia Southern. So, much like last year, we're going to be on the road about the whole month of November. Going to have to be really good to be able to get off to a good start.
Yeah. You look at, you finished 4th. I mean, you could have easily won the league. No offense to other teams. And there's other teams that could have, not easily, but all won the league. Mm-hmm. How difficult is Horizon League conference play?
Well, I think that's what's special about our league. I think the last 2 years, any of 8 or 9 teams could have won the league. It's a very deep, very balanced league. Every night you're tested, whether you're at home or on the road. But I think, as we were talking before we got on, none of us really know exactly what we have yet, I don't think, with as many new players as we have. But what we do know is that we've got great coaches in this league. If you, from the outside looking in, looks like everybody in our league has added really good players. So anticipate much of the same from the Horizon League, very deep and balanced league.
Yeah, absolutely. What would you say the toughest place to play in the league is? Who's got the best home court advantage?
Yeah, I think there's a bunch of good ones. I hope that coaches from our league would say we have one of the best ones. I think that from our standpoint, we've created one of the best mid-major atmospheres in all of college basketball. I haven't lost a whole lot of games in this building in the last few years. But, Oakland's always got a great home court atmosphere. We've had some great games at Northern Kentucky, overtime, double overtime games. Seems like every time we're down there, we're in a dogfight right down to the wire. But life on the road is what it is, Luke. In this league and every other league in the country, it's extremely difficult to win on the road.
Yeah. People I don't think understand. They look at conferences, and it doesn't matter if it's a Horizon League, the MAC with 2 A's, the Mountain West. It doesn't matter if you're 1-10. I mean, Southland. I was watching McNeese play someone that was like, 2-12, and they almost lost the game.
Sure. I mean, it's hard to win on the road. We all know that, and again, early in the year, we're going to live on the road, so that's where we have to be really, really good early.
Yeah. Does it, you're kind of an anomaly at Youngstown State. I believe you're one of the only schools, maybe the only school that has football, Division I AA football. People know Youngstown State, no offense to you, because of Coach Tressel and what he's done and what they did, all those national championships for years. Do you think that helps you or hinders you having one of the only football teams in the conference? And obviously they don't play in the conference because they don't have a conference football team. But do you think it helps you much, or does it hurt you maybe?
Well, the name Jim Tressel, I hope recognizes with every college sports fan in the country, not just for what he did here for us as a football coach and also on to Ohio State. But
you can't say that on this.
but as much as Coach Tress did for us as a football coach, really revolutionized our university as our athletic director and school president. But, last weekend, man, we got 13,000 fans here for a football game against the number 2 team in the country. It's really beneficial for us in recruiting, where we can bring recruits into those football weekends and really show off the passion and the pride that our community has, not just for our men's basketball program, but for our athletic department as a whole.
I don't know. I'll speak from experience from almost 30 years ago going to UIC and not having a football team. I believe we went to a women's volleyball game, and I will tell you, that was better than a football game.
Well, I'll be honest with you. Look, man, our football atmospheres are great. It's really beneficial for us on those recruiting weekends to get those guys in and, again, show off the support that we have from our community, which is very unique.
Yep. How much did you rely on Coach Calhoun in year one? I mean, I know you obviously, he's a personal friend and you worked for him for years. I guess, how much did you rely on him the first year?
Yeah, I mean, he's, the biggest mentor I have in this profession, a guy that gave me a shot to get back to the Division I level. Much of what we do as a program is still the footprints and the foundation that he laid when he was here. We talk all the time throughout the year, share ideas, again, have a very, very similar thoughts on how to play the game of basketball, especially from the offensive end of the floor. He's been crucial to my development as a coach.
Yeah. Last question. What was it like year one having your brother on your staff?
Yeah, it was great. Obviously
what would he say?
I think he would say the same thing. Yeah, I think he would. It was great. Obviously being able to do this with him is pretty special.
Yeah. Do you think you'll take you'll try against the Capo brothers first game? Maybe do a little 2-on-2. Think you guys can take them?
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. But I guess lastly,
I'm going to have to get back in better shape if we're going to break a 2-on-2 game out, Luke.
Yeah, that could be interesting. I wonder if the Capos can still play. I wonder if they play 1-on-1 and they wear their like Duke and North Carolina jerseys and go at it.
Yeah, that rivalry may be a little different than mine and my brother.
Yeah. So last question. I know I said last question. I always say that, but you've gotten to know me well enough. Last question means there's 26 more, but really one more. What can Penguins fans and Horizon League foes expect from your team this year?
Yeah, I think we'll get back to being a more traditional Youngstown State offensive team. I think we've really tried to evaluate and shore up some of the deficiencies that we had offensively last year with our recruiting, particularly our three-point shooting, getting some more versatility from the forward position, more depth at that position. And again, I think we'll get back to playing faster. I think we'll get back to, being a style of play that led to top 20 teams in the country and scoring 2 years in a row. I'm not saying that we're going to be a top 20 team in the country in scoring, but right. that stylistically, it will look much more like it did when we were having tons and tons of success offensively. And really excited about about where we're at on that side of the ball. Spent a ton of time on that in the summer, trying to get back to being an offensive team that can overpower teams at times.
Yeah. Well, Coach, we're really excited for Youngstown. You're going to stick on one more second for Youngstown State. I will be there at least for one game cheering for you guys. I think I told that to all your predecessors or your competitors at the Horizon League, but you got to cheer for Ohio. You're in Northeastern Ohio technically, so well, yeah, you are in Northeastern Ohio, so we got to stay together. But Coach, we're really excited for the Penguins. They might be lovable and fun, but they're also fierce.
There we go.
So we continue the Horizon League Uncensored. I know we interviewed this fine gentleman previously at the media day, but hey, why not? He is Bart Lundy, going into his fourth year of the Milwaukee Panthers era. Really good team, really solid team. I mean, 3 20-win seasons in a row. I mean, after media day, did you got to kind of get a sense of what's going to happen in the Horizon League? I mean, did you give it any thought per se?
No, but it does bring it home that it's here, that the season is basically here. You don't see those players and those coaches for a while, and it seems like it's far away, but media day brings it all into focus, and hey, we better. I was pretty motivated in practice the last couple of days, just knowing that the time is short.
Yeah, it is. You can definitely say it's a coaches league. I mean, you brought in a couple of new coaches. Some guys that had maybe rocky first years are going to probably bring it their second years. I mean, how, I guess, underrated is the Horizon League as a whole? I mean, it's a players league. It always has been a players league. I mean, it's obviously morphed through different names, but from a coaching standpoint, I mean, it's a really good coaching league.
It is an extremely good coaches league. We've got guys like Kampe who've been around forever and really have the zone and everything he does kind of perfected what he is good at. Kaufman down at Fort Wayne is so underrated. You've got vets all around the league. You got new young coaches that are hungry. You got a guy down at IU-Indy now that has set it on fire in D2, which, obviously I won't sleep on. That's my stomping grounds. And so it's a gauntlet, it's really a gauntlet of a league. And I told somebody this at media day, but if you take the last, I think 6 years, the number of pros that have come out of the Horizon League, and you combine the Missouri Valley and the MAC together, they don't have the number that have gone to the NBA or the G League out of our league. So it's good players, great coaches, tough places to play, and then you get one bid. One bid, so it's tough.
Do you like?
The rest of the weary.
Yeah. Do you think programs like yourselves, and I hate to label mid-major because basketball is basketball, do you think the potential expansion, which is going to happen, do you think it will help a league like the Horizon League, or pretty much it's still going to be one bid? You
got a bead on the bead. I don't know. I think it'll help. Coach Josh Schertz was with me for 7 years as a young coach, and watching his team at St. Louis win 30-plus games and then not get into the NCAA.
Indiana State.
When he was at Indiana State, right. And watching teams like that at this level not get in is pretty painful to see when you're sitting in my seat, knowing that, okay, if you could have an unbelievable record-setting season and then you lose a game in the tournament and you don't make the NCAA tournament. I think in situations like that, it's going to help a select few, but overall, it's going to be more of the mid-level power fours that get in. That's really the purpose of the expansion.
Did you say mid-level or lower level?
Lower level, I should say lower level. The mid-levels already get in.
14 out of 16.
Probably deservedly so.
Wow.
But if if you don't have a winning record in your league, it's really hard to justify, taking a spot. But that's what I foresee happening. But what do I know?
Yeah. Do you think with this expansion too? I mean, it's been pretty tough non-conference scheduling each summer. Would you pretty much, with a good program like yourself, 320 win seasons? I guess what have you guys done to kind of create a competitive schedule this offseason?
Well, we take it. This is like recruiting now. It's year round, so we jump on any opportunity that is presented. And then, we have to be around when we didn't finish our schedule till September. And so we have to be around when, Texas Tech told us no for months and months. And then at the very end, when they had nobody else, we got into an MTE extremely late. We're playing at home against Purdue Fort Wayne on December 29, playing at Wisconsin on December 30, and then January 2nd go to Wright State. So Wisconsin was willing to play us, but that was the date, so we had no choice. So none of it's optimal. So we just take the opportunities as they're presented and make the best of it.
Yeah, you should play hard to get with Coach and be like, yeah, let me think about it. Let me get back to you. And then call him like 3 days before.
Yeah, tried that. And, it's never worked in any other aspect of my life either. yeah, it's not translating.
Oh God. So how are you going to keep the train rolling? I mean, you're obviously content in Milwaukee. I mean, it's a great community. And you signed a 5-year extension. How do you keep it going? What's the recipe?
I think it starts with surrounding yourself with good people. We talked about our staff's been together for 4 years, no turnover at all, which is pretty incredible. And they're great coaches and great people, and at this point they're like brothers. So that's where it starts. You try to be as aligned with your administration as you can possibly be. I think we have that. We have a new chancellor, but he's been great. And Amanda, my athletic director, she's really stepped up in so many situations with me, and so that's where it starts. And then having a plan and sticking to it, knowing what you're recruiting to, knowing what is important to your program, and then just be consistent with everything that you do. And it's become more of a grind. You interview tons of coaches. You're in the mix yourself. That it's a year-round job. There's no time off. So I think you can't let your guard down. You can't relax, which is sad to say. It shouldn't be that way. But especially at this level, boy, they're going to pick your players off, and you better have 3 or 4 guys at each position that you're recruiting. That when you lose one. So just be prepared.
Yeah. Is it tougher to take? What I noticed, I can't remember if I talked to you or someone else recently about this. It seems like a lot of coaches are staying where they're at. Okay. The big thing on Tuesday night at the Horizon League, I guess pre-media day was what was it? Where your feet are standing? What's the thing they say?
Be where your feet are.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. I'm slow. I got a UIC degree. Worst fight song ever, which you keep bringing up. I might add. So I'm just gonna get to the punch.
Dude.
It's pretty bad. Is it tougher? You're just seeing a lot of coaches stay. I mean, what's the reason? Is it just because of just like nice contentment? You've got a nice balance. It's, the grass isn't always greener. We're just seeing a lot of leagues like the Horizon League. I mean, Kampe, 42 years, Coach Darrin Horn, 7 years, Kaufman, 12, you 4. I mean, you look at the MAC. I mean, there's guys 12, 13, 14 years. You see in the MAC with 2As, same thing. I guess why?
I do think that you get to a point where you, at least for me, I can really only speak for me. I've done all the moving, and at this point in my career, it would take something that has some personal appeal, or obviously if there's a generational payday, which, those are only a select few, that's the only reason that you would want to uproot and go somewhere else. It's so hard to establish a program, and the Milwaukee community has kind of embraced me and our style of play, and and it's a good fit. So in my mind, I could take something else, but it's rolling the dice. Do they like how we play? Do I fit the community? Do I fit the institution? For me, I believe in what we do as a university. We're an access university, so kids that can't go other places get an opportunity at Milwaukee. But at the same time, it's an R1 research institution, so you can get a high level degree. And those are two things that I really can wrap my head around, and know that I'm working for a place that I believe in, which I did at Queens as well. And maybe a lot of coaches don't think that way, but I've been in a university setting my whole adult life, and it matters to me. It matters.
Yeah, it does. It does. What is one player on your team? We're going to pick one. I know you got 36 kids at home personally, or /4. What is one player that's going to surprise people on your team?
Well, I kind of left him out of most of the media day, and I look back on it, and I don't know.
Smart. No, that's smart. Don't give those bastards any information.
But we have a point guard named Isaiah Dorcius, and they call him Zay. And Zay is he's just one of those special guys that make everybody better. He knows how to distribute the ball. He is selfless in his game, as far as he just makes the right play. And that sounds silly, but it's hard to find guys, especially point guards, that just want to make the right play. He doesn't care if he shoots. He doesn't care about his stats. He plays super hard. He knows how to talk to his teammates. They like playing with him. So I think he's just going to be the straw that stirs the drink for us. And I don't know if that'll translate to being an all-league player, but he is really important for our team. And every day that practice, I see that more and more. My belief in him, I believed in him when we recruited him, but my belief in him grows every day.
Yeah. That's pretty. It's like a flower. Just keep watering it, just water.
Flower. Yeah, I'm going to tell him, you like
water flower.
Yeah.
Flower. Just be a flower. Okay, last question for you.
There's some bad flowers out there, though, too.
Don't water those. Those are called weeds, Coach. Those are called weeds, right? They're called
I don't
weeds.
know. I don't know. I have trees, flowers, and bushes, and that you get beyond that, and I can't label anything. But I can do those three. If it's big green, it's a tree.
Yeah, well, that's good. You need to get one of those apps they have on Instagram that tells you what to do. Add Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
you ever seen those? I've thought about.
Mine will just say tree. I'll scan it. It'll say flower.
Dead. All right, last question I got for you, then I'll leave you be. Okay. What is one team you're kind of suspiciously curious about or worried about in the Horizon League this year? Who's going to give you fits?
Oh, well, there's a lot. I don't want to go down the Kampe road. They just, got putting us. I've spent all summer, the last 2 summers, wondering how they end our season. But yeah, I know how they did it. It just, how do I prevent it? That's the trick. I think Youngstown, to me, when I look, they've got guys coming back. They've got guys that are coming back that I think people are underestimating, and then they brought in some good ones. So I think they're going to be not really sneaky, but I think they're going to be very, very solid. And he's a good coach.
Yeah.
And they went to the championship game last year. I think they're set and poised to be really good in our league. And there's a bunch, but that's the one that I think people could be underestimating.
Yeah, well, Coach, we really appreciate it. You're going to stick on with us one more second for joining us on the Horizon League Uncensored. We got some juice. We got the skinny. We love Coach Lundy, and watch out for the Milwaukee Panthers this year. All right, as we continue on the Horizon League Uncensored, we go to one coach who's been there, done that, both as a player and as a coach at multiple levels. We got Darrin Horn, Northern Kentucky. Welcome to the Full Court Network College Basketball Weekly Horizon League Uncensored, Coach.
Thanks for having me, man. Good to be with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I've heard some good things over the years about you. I hear you're a pretty hysterical and funny guy, so maybe we'll get that out of you. But 7th year. I mean, what the hell are you doing? Yeah. You're obviously enjoying it.
It's crazy, right? My wife and I have never lived anywhere this long, in this profession. There's always either been moved by choice and promotion or, once moved by being asked to. It's a really good place with a lot of people, good people. And, we really feel like there's still work that can be done here and, more to accomplish. So we're really excited about the challenge ahead.
Yep. So you did it as a player at Western Kentucky, made it to the NCAA tournament 3 times. I love that you beat, and I'm a big fan of Penny Hardaway, that you beat Memphis State. Not Memphis State. Beat Michigan, beat State Hall. Yeah, back in the day. So, I mean, obviously you're a ball player. You coached at Western Kentucky, made it to a Sweet 16, maybe didn't have the best success at South Carolina. Unfortunately, I mean, it's what it is. Northern Kentucky, you've had some early success up until a couple years ago. With the evolving kind of college sports landscape, how do you get back to that level, and then how do you continue?
Yeah, I think the thing at our level is it's really all about March, right? And because regardless of where you finish, you're being judged on what happens in March, and can you get to March Madness, and then can you do what Greg did a few years ago at Oakland and find a way to win a game? And so that's kind of been our whole focus here. We've always been around the top of the league, but we've literally been better than anybody in our league in March when it matters most. Last year's the first year we don't make it to Indy for the Final Four. 6 of the year, previous 6 years, 3 of those years been in championship games. 2 of those years won it. Again, all of that more than anybody in our league. And so we want to continue to do that. Our overall record is reflective of how challenging our schedule is most years, I think, different than a lot of other people in the league. It's interesting, there's a real charge among the league to challenge ourselves scheduling wise and schedule better. And I think while we as coaches all want to do that, if you go back and look at the net ratings from last year, almost exactly the lower the strength of schedule, the higher the overall net ranking for our league. And so, really an interesting deal. We schedule, 3 of my first 4 games last year were Cincinnati at home, at Purdue, at Florida State. So at College of Charleston about 2 games after that. Yep. So, I think that we're in a really good place. Obviously, things are changing where, who knows what everybody in the league has with the portal and the number of new players. Coach, not to interrupt you, but just look at the preseason rankings. That should tell you everything because they mean nothing, obviously, from a coaching standpoint. Yeah, I have no idea. I didn't even see them. I'm sure, we're not very high, but like, how do you even know? There's like 6 guys returning that have done anything in our league total. So, and again, even if you're number 1, you got to go out and play the games, and then how you finish the season is what matters most.
Yep. So I actually got to witness a game, maybe not firsthand, but watched it. And unfortunately, you came the short end of the stick, the Akron game. I mean, sure. The thing is, you play an up-tempo style of play. Absolutely. Full court trapping defense. Absolutely. More of the same. I mean, is that kind of the Darrin Horn kind of recipe for success?
Yeah, we want to play as fast as we can offensively, and I think every coach says that, but it's really determined based on your personnel and can you do that? One of our big takeaways from our experience in the tournament 2 years ago against Houston was, we found out that we can compete physically and defend and rebound and do the dirty work that you need to compete in those games, but we really struggled to score the ball. And we really felt like it was because our offense wasn't built to get enough easy baskets. And so, we've revamped that. This will be our 3rd year in a new system. And, when it's clicking, we are playing fast and doing really well. And then defensively, that's our identity. We want to continue to play that way just because, again, we think it gives us our best chance in a one-shot deal to have some flexibility in our defense, to be a special preparation and have an opportunity to win in March.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that kind of just your background of being coached that way and playing that way growing up?
No question. You know, I mean, I played for Ralph Willard, was best friends with Rick Pitino, who is, honestly, I think a lot of the great stuff that Coach P does, maybe Coach Willard was doing even as a high school coach way back on Long Island at St. Dom's. And I think that, being a team that is very committed to a style of play and being a special preparation has kind of just been ingrained in me going all the way back to my playing days. And, so really just feel comfortable doing that and have had some success with it.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is an interesting, I think you can really give a very interesting opinion about this just because you played in the NCAA tournament, you won some games, you've coached in the NCAA tournament, you've won some games. Northern Kentucky, and no offense to the Horizon League, is considered a mid-major conference. Okay. Sure. Western Kentucky is considered a mid-major conference. South Carolina is not. Okay. There's obviously the NCAA tournament is changing and it's going to increase. Okay. Now they're talking about the 12 automatic qualifiers playing in the first round game. I mean, do you really understand that I feel like it's going to hurt the Robert Morris almost beating Alabama last year, 2 years ago, Kampe beating, Kentucky, maybe even some of your games that you played in at Western Kentucky. I guess I want to hear it from a guy that's played it and coached it at that level and that kind of that scenarios.
Yeah, I obviously don't love it simply because of what you just said. If you win one of these leagues and you get to that game, you can really play. We've had 3 years now, 4 if you count Wright State winning in a play-in game. We've had 4 straight years in our league where the game's been really competitive where we've won. Coming out of the last media timeout, our game against Houston, 4-point game, 2 possessions. So, I think that it hurts the tournament overall, and I think it definitely hurts mid-majors. And I think, quite candidly, my greatest concern as a coach is it's just a precursor to, well, what does the tournament really become? The football championship already has nothing to do with the NCAA, right? And it's kind of its own entity. Is there a different tournament coming in some way where we're all just sort of a play-in, minus 60 schools at some point? It feels a little bit like a precursor to that, which is really unfortunate, because the truth is, as you said, I've played and coached at every level you can imagine in this game of ours. And the truth of the matter is, some of the lower teams in the big conferences aren't great. They're not as good as Robert Morris. I've coached against them. I've played against them. They're just not. And so I think to kind of automatically take that opportunity away is not great for the game and not great for, the teams and the players at this level.
Yeah. And I was at both of those games, both the Oakland, Kentucky and Robert Morris and Alabama games in the flesh. And I get goosebumps thinking about just there's this electricity. I mean, and you've played it, you know it. The NCAA tournament is by far the greatest event. And I've been to the U.S. Open. I haven't been to the Ryder Cup, but I've been to the U.S. Open. I've been to Wimbledon. I've been to all these different things. The NCAA tournament is the place. And I would put it up there with childbirth, having 3 kids. It might not, probably not.
It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing.
Don't tell my wife, Coach. Do not tell my wife.
It's just one of those things. And I've experienced that as a parent now, too. My son's a walk-on at Kentucky. Got to check in at the very end of a game last year against Troy in the first round. Yep. And it's just, there's really nothing like it. And expand, okay, I don't love that. But to kind of automatically say, this is who's going in these slots, just not a fan of that, because to me it takes away what has made the tournament great and opportunities for programs that, quite honestly, and teams on a given year. I mean, let's be honest. You go back, I think if you ask Greg, he'd tell you they should have been in the Sweet 16. I probably agree with him when they lost to NC State.
Yeah.
In the second round, they had that game won, or very easily could have won it.
Was there
and
too?
So,
yep.
Are we going to take that away? From teams by how they're doing it now?
Yeah, yeah. It's almost like the player era tournament. It's like, let's just get all the Power Fives, throw them in a tournament, and filter everybody out, and just see who wins. And I mean, the one thing that was interesting, and you know this gentleman probably pretty well, is Billy Donlin. Okay, and what he's is just expanded to 96. Every conference gets 2 automatic bids. Okay. So you get one for the regular season championship and the NC and then your conference tournament championship. And then if you win both, then the league decides who gets the second one. Now, have that happen. And, maybe some of the weaker conferences, maybe you don't get 2, but like a conference at Horizon League. I mean, I was in it in the Midwestern Collegiate. My senior year, the year after I graduated, my juniors here, we had 3 teams in the NCAA tournament: Butler, Detroit, and UIC.
No question. Because on a given year, again, like we found out in our league, like we've been talking about, Robert Morris can beat anybody in the country. Yep. We can have a chance to beat anybody in the country. Oakland did beat, a high seed. And so you hate to see that happen.
Yep. Bobby Moe, as they call it. They call it Bobby Moe. How about that? So tell me a little bit about your team. I mean, how excited are you? I mean, I know as a competitor, you're ready to get season started. What are some surprises that people can look forward to for Norse basketball?
Yeah, this is the first time that honestly we've had to deal with so many new guys. It's pretty standard, I think, now. If you have 7, 8, 9 new guys, normal. It's the first time we've had to do it. We've been very fortunate that we haven't had the combination of graduation and maybe some transfers, whether that's to move up or to move on because, they don't like the role at your place. And I'm actually really invigorated by it. I'm excited about this team and this season. So many new guys, so much to learn, so much to teach. I'm actually having a blast doing it. I think it's making me a better coach. We have the most athletic team that we've had. And I think we have the deepest team that we've had, really, really unique. And what's so cool about it is, you can complain about how things are going in college basketball now, or you can embrace it and look at, wow, how cool is it that, we've got 9 new guys, 3 traditional freshmen. One is a foreign kid from Spain, just turned 18 years old, 6'9", 7'1" wingspan, great future. We've got Division II guys that have transferred in. We have an NAI player that's an in-state kid originally from Louisville. He's a terrific player. And we've got one Division I transfer who led his team in scoring. And so it's really a mixed grab. One of the D2 guys is from New Zealand. So we've got a really interesting makeup of our team. And again, I really like our versatility. I like our length and athleticism for how we want to play defensively and offensively, how good we want to be on the offensive glass. And it's been a really fun team to work with. I'm really interested to see, when we actually get to play somebody else, how we look and where we need to go.
Yeah. The key word is when you get to play somebody else.
Right.
People are getting so excited. Someone posted on Twitter or X, whatever it's called. Hey, give me some the secret scrimmage scores, box scores. I'm like,
yeah. Well, and now they're not secret even, right? We've got a public exhibition at a neutral site at Dayton, pretty cool game with 4 teams from the area. So, I think none of us know where we've been really good here is when it's gotten hard and when it's gotten tough. We found a way to get through and to win those games. Even last year in our worst year here, still 17 wins. That's a bad year here with the expectations we've set by how good we've been. I think we won 7 out of our last 9, and we're playing better than anybody in the league when Cleveland State played a great game and beat us in the tournament. So, I think that's what you don't know when you don't have guys that have been through it. How are they going to respond to that?
Right.
But in terms of talent and good guys and working hard and all that, like probably most coaches in the country right now, we really like our team and are excited to see how we grow.
Yeah. Last question I got for you. So on the Horizon League level, obviously we talked about the ever-changing landscape, and it's still changing. I mean, it just changed a second ago as I talk. Has it been tougher for a league like the Horizon League to obviously retain and also recruit each year because it's happening it's like speed dating every 6 to 9 months?
Yeah, there's no question. If you just look at, I don't know what the number is now, but when it first started, we were losing like 90% of our all-conference players that had a chance to return. I don't know what the number was from last year. I think it's absolutely an issue, and I think what it's become is you've got to figure out that. Well, one, you've got to understand that that's going to happen every year. And maybe there's a year that it doesn't. But you have to assume that it is, and then you've got to figure out, well, how are we going to address that? What's our approach going to be? Obviously, NIL is a huge part of that, but to me, NIL is also like, if you're not competitive, you have no chance. But it's not just about having the most money, because it's still about who do we want, how do they fit, who can we get, and has that really changed? Money's the major component of it now. But hasn't that always been true, that we're going to have a better chance at a good player in the Kentucky, Southern Ohio region, maybe than, Milwaukee will in our league? So we've all got our own advantages and disadvantages. Now the money is a part of it. Again, if you're not competitive at all, it doesn't matter. But I don't think that if you spend the most money, it guarantees that you're going to have the best team. But I do think it has presented challenges for coaches in our league, that you're basically kind of starting over every year.
Yeah. Kampe keeps doing these weird bake sales at Oakland.
Yeah.
I'm joking. I don't know what he's done.
He spent a truckload of money and raised every dollar himself, and probably did, probably did. But, I know at the league meetings when we were talking, it was like, man, playing defense the way we both play, and you got so many new guys, it just feels like you're completely starting over. And the truth is, you know what, we are. We are with this new situation.
Yeah. Well, Coach, we really appreciate it. You're going to stick on for one more second. Check out Coach Darrin Horn at Northern Kentucky. It should be another great year. And I think, doing a little research, you guys are going to surprise some people. So thanks, Coach. And, good luck with your season. And thanks for watching or listening to the Horizon League Uncensored. We got one more guest. We're going to finish up with Coach Kampe. You figure we always got to end last with the legend, the elder statesman, been here in the league since 2013, been the head coach of the Oakland Golden Grizzlies for 42 years. The guy keeps coming back as he yawns. I got you yawning, Coach. It must be a Tigers thing. But Coach Kampe, Horizon League Uncensored, first and foremost, we got you alone. We didn't invite Coach Kaufman this time just because, I thought you guys were going to get a fight over your hair. But, man, are you excited? I mean, you are predicted. How much weight do you put in preseason rankings?
Well, I used to think they meant something, but in the last couple of years, I just don't know how they can. I mean, I had to vote. You have to vote, but you talk about Kaufman, I have no idea what he's got.
Yeah.
I mean, none of us really know. I guess Milwaukee's got the most coming back. Robert Morris, they lost every one of their starters, just like we did the year before. And that's the new day and age of this. So I'm not sure how effective preseason rankings are going to be. I think you can talk to each coach right now, and they could tell you if they know if they're going to be any good or not, because they've had the summer and 2 or 3 weeks with their players.
Yeah. Now, we talked at the media day in Indianapolis, and you said this is the deepest team you've ever had.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good statement there, Coach.
It is. It really is. And I've never had 1 through 10 like we have. And I've had multiple people who I've asked to come and watch practice to try and knock me off that perch, to try and tell me I'm crazy. I don't know what I'm talking about. And every one of them walks away going, wow, I've never seen an Oakland team, our 10th guy, I think could start anywhere in the league. And I got to find a way to play 10 guys because they're all similar. They're all kind of the same. I'm not sure I have a best player. I got a couple really good ones, but I just don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because your coaching peers named your one player on your team the preseason Horizon League Player of the Year.
Yeah, but I think he had to be because he or Lovejoy. Lovejoy, is that the guy?
Yep. Lovejoy from Detroit Mercy. Yep.
those are probably the two best players coming back from what they showed previously. Now the kid at Milwaukee, Faison Fields, I think could easily be in that same category, but he was hurt so much that you really never knew for sure with him. But I mean, he had a game against us 2 years ago. He was a dominant player. So I think those three guys coming back, but I've got 10 new guys, and nobody in our league knows anything about them. And Milwaukee's got new guys, and Robert Morris supposedly has, I've heard, stories that they think they're really, really good too. And, so we don't know. And I don't know if any league in the country can know, just because all the movement and the newness.
Yeah. How good is the Horizon League? I know we talk about misconception and yada, 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 but this year, I mean, you look from a coaching pedigree. I mean, you've been there 42 years. Kaufman has been there for a while. Coach Horn's been at Northern Kentucky for 7 years. I mean, you look at all the new coaching coming in. This might be the deepest coaching, pedigree you've had in the Horizon League in years, and it just keeps getting better.
Well, I think, the Horizon League, Butler goes to the national championship game from the Horizon League 2 years in a row. Then there's some chaos and movement in the league. Valpo leaves, Butler leaves. And we kind of took a dip. And they asked me in a meeting, why do you think, the league's taking a dip? And my answer was, well, because we keep firing our coaches. We've got to give a coach a chance and give him stability. You can't, a league, if 4 of the 11 coaches get turned over every year, that there's 4 programs that are starting over.
Yep.
And what we found out in our ADs have done a really, really good job of hiring coaches. And we've got really good coaches in this league. And I mean, it's top to bottom. And so I think you're seeing a comeback of the league. I think the last 2 years, our league's been really good. I think we've proven that in the NCAA tournament, what we did 2 years ago. Last year, Robert Morris took Alabama to the wire, led with 4 minutes to go. And Alabama's only close game till the Elite Eight. And, I just think the league's really made a comeback. A lot of it, though, is we have ADs that have done a great job of hiring coaches.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I think you're crazy, okay, because of your non-conference schedule. But to you're telling me in person that you're going to win some of these games, and I love it. I mean, Michigan, Purdue, Houston, UCF, Michigan State. Has it been tough to schedule, a non-conference schedule, especially with, what's going on with the college basketball landscape?
Yes, it's probably the most difficult thing I do now. And there's 2 things that have been hard. One is that we've won 14 of those games, and the word gets out, and it's hard to get a mid-level Power 5 game, right? And the ones we're playing number 1 Purdue, number 2 Houston, number 5 Michigan, whatever Michigan State is. We got Central Florida because of my relationship with the assistant athletic director there. It's all relationship based now. I'm calling everybody I know that's a friend at the Power 5 and begging them to play because we need the finances of it. But we've always done it. It's always made us better. Have we won some? Yes. Have we been embarrassed? Yeah. We've lost some games where we got mollywopped. But it's all part of the process. It's all part of the learning thing. Like, I'm going to tell you something. If we can run our offense anywhere near efficient against Houston, we're surely going to be able to run that stuff in the Horizon League.
Yeah.
And the things that we see and we learn from will make us better as we prepare for our league play.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And the kids want to play those games.
Well, why not?
They want to play them. They want to be on national TV. They want to say they played the number 1 team in the country. They're excited about it. People ask me all the time, well, after you get beat, don't you have, what's it like in the locker room? And don't you lose them? No, we don't lose them. We're honest with them, and we know what we're doing when we go into them, and we have honest conversations.
You think when Trey Townsend went off on Kentucky with all the rebounds and points, you think he was worried about playing Kentucky?
Yeah. Exactly. We had beaten Xavier earlier. We'd taken Ohio State to the buzzer. We led at Illinois at the under seven. And Dayton beat the living crap out of us. So we that team had lost the game badly.
Yeah.
They're also proven we can play with those teams, and there was no angst going into that game.
Yep. 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 Who do you think's going to coach longer, you or Coach Izzo?
We've talked about it. You know, sometimes we say we're going to go out the same day. You know, we've talked about retiring on the same day. I doubt that'll happen. I would not do that when he goes out. He needs the day for himself. I would never impose on that. But it's good, fun conversation, right?
Yeah. Do it the day before.
I probably won't. I'll probably, just kind of not show up one day and.
But the problem is, Coach, it might take him a couple of weeks to realize you're not coming back.
And they'll be searching every golf course in Michigan, wondering where I am.
Yeah. I guess you're seeing coaches stay longer in the Horizon League. 4 or 5 years ago, before all the craziness happened, you'd see guys take a lot of jumps. You're seeing a lot of stability in some of these leagues, like the Horizon League, the MAC, especially the MAC with 2 A's. Why is that? Is the grass just not greener on their side? Is it the balance of life? What is it?
I think that the paradigm of coaching hiring has shifted. You're seeing a lot of NBA guys coming into college now. You're seeing athletic directors. They're looking at, athletic directors are saying, well, we're paying players now. So we need people with experience that are coaching guys that have been paid. And so you're seeing this shift where they want, somebody that's got experience coaching players being paid. So a lot of coaches at our level are being overlooked because of that. There's some really good coaches, at our level that deserve the opportunity to coach at a Power 4 or 5 or whatever you want to call it.
Yep. So as we know, we met when you guys took down Kentucky, and then you kept it rolling in the next game. It was just electric. I was in Cleveland last year, the Robert Morris, I almost called him Bobby Moe, almost taken out Alabama. Okay. So the NCAA, as you know, is leaning towards a model that places the lowest AQs into the opening round, along with the last 12 at the at-large selection as part of the 76-team proposal. I look at that. And if that was the case, Oakland, Kentucky never would have happened, potentially. Okay. Robert Morris. What are your thoughts on kind of the NCAA tournament expansion? Does that really help a league like Horizon League? Does it hurt it? I'm not trying to get too juicy of a soundbite. I guess just from a guy that's been around a long time and seen a lot of things happen. Do you think this is good long-term sustainability for like the Horizon League in a mid-major conference?
The greatest sporting event in the world would be argued that it's either the World Cup, which, because there's so many fans in Europe of soccer, they would probably win the vote. But you have the World Cup, you have the Super Bowl, which is just one day, and you have the NCAA basketball tournament, which is 3 weeks. For me, the greatest spectacle in the world is the NCAA tournament. Why would you change it? Right? Yeah. Why would anybody in their right mind, unless greed has seeped in, why would you change what that tournament is? And the wrong people are making the wrong choices, and if they change it, it's going to hurt more than just their argument would be, well, you'll have an easier first round game, hypothetically, and then you'll get a chance to beat Kentucky or whatever, right? What I hope the only thing I really hope doesn't happen is that those first games on Tuesday or Monday or whatever days they don't get recorded as playing your way into the tournament. We played in the play-in game in 2005, and I loved it, but we won it, so we got in the tournament, but we never got away from the stigma of, well, you had to play your way into the tournament. You didn't, right. And you won your league championship, you're in the tournament. And that's what, if they're going to put, 12 automatic qualifiers in that first 24. The terminology can't be play-in or open first, or I don't know what it is, but it better get paid the same. It better have it is the tournament. You're in the tournament, not you're playing your way in. So that's the big thing for me. But like I said, what would you got coaches that get hired and fired about going to the NCAA tournament. So obviously, especially the Power 5 coaches, Power 4 coaches they want tournament expansion because it helps them keep their job, whatever. Me, and I'm not a Power 4 coach, and I don't live their life, so I don't know. All I know is I'm a basketball guy. As Chuck Daly said, a lifer, right? And why would you mess with something that is made itself the greatest spectacle in the game?
Yeah. It's funny because lastly, my parents always said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. And it's
you ever heard that one before, Coach?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I deal with that all the time as I'm watching my team, and we're doing well, we're playing well, and you keep thinking, well, can you sustain that? I think this tournament's proven it can sustain itself. What it is greed. It is people searching for more money, more ways, more people in, because and they have all the reasoning and the excuses and all that, and some of them you can't argue with.
Yep.
They make good points, but why would you mess with the greatest spectacle there is?
Yep. Well, Coach, we really appreciate it. Thanks for joining us for our first ever Uncensored. We went Horizon League. We got a lot of good stuff. Don't forget to check out the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. He's just fun to watch. He doesn't get as many technicals, which means the referees like him a little bit better. But
or I'm getting older.
Well, or wiser.
Yeah, there you go.
Wiser. But we really appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed the first ever Horizon League Uncensored on the College Basketball Weekly, powered by the Full Court Network. We'll be back next week on the College Basketball Weekly.